Just getting ready to do my stuff I got to do before I take my walk. Last night, after I stopped live streaming, I went on the Twitter that people probably can't see and listen, doing my thing I do when I relax at night, listening to music, typing, chilling out, right? So then I get a prompt on YouTube that says that they removed my entire live stream. So there is no meaning to what these beings are doing, but that they're in a container as God kills them. Right. So just they cannot kill me, but they're ferociously insane and they want to. And it's just been this. We're now going into the 14th year. Um, I don't think there's enough brain matter there to question why they're being allowed to do what they're doing. I don't think there's enough brain matter in there. And I went over some of the stuff about having a specialized binder in order to cause the extinction of your entire species. That takes a special sort of Neanderthal brain, which most Neanderthals don't have. Special brain, psyche combined with it to enter into the God sent delusion to exterminate themselves. It's sort of like a dominant male gorilla, and not all of them are males, by the way, but they think they are because it's not actually a gorilla, it's a Neanderthal. Okay, so it's sort of like a segment, I guess. I don't do I don't do, what is it, whatever that's called, classifications. I don't classify species. So whatever that is from a kingdom, it's like a part of a kingdom of primates, but they're not literally gorillas. But in order to explain them, they're compared to that because it's the same kingdom. Okay, so a lot of the behaviors are similar, sort of like rodents or amphibians. Okay. So they look different too. Not all rodents look the same, but they're still rodents. Okay, so it's like a dominant male gorilla, and it believes that I'm a choice female gorilla. Okay, sometimes it gets confused and thinks I'm another male gorilla, but it believes that I'm a female gorilla. Okay, so it's got to focus on me because I'm the choice female in their brains, but it's a hatred too. It's like all over the place because they cannot obtain me, they can't get me to engage with them. I don't produce children with them. I won't welcome them into my kingdom. And so it's like a mixed thing because they come to realize, like I watched with her, there's not a possible way that they could have something to do with me because they won't stop trying to kill me. They have like a ravenous hatred for me because they're all mixed up. They're not actually gorilla. And all their species is a primate that thinks it's me and tries to copy me. That's all their entire species is. So it gets like weird at times like this. Um, when they're allowed to break through their laws and stuff and attack me, it's just weird like this all over the place. So, right, they think that they're a gorilla and they're in charge, and but yet then they're going to learn from me. They're going to learn from me because that's all it is a learning knowledge, like how to shake the tree correctly to get the lightning to go like that. It's just like that. Not they like me, but it's all mixed up because it's like I told you, they're drawn to me because they view me as the choice. And but all they have to do is do things like I do and kill me, and then they're the choice. Okay, it's just clearly a ferocious mental insanity. So this stuff with the takeaways and deleting my material, deleting my videos, deleting my photos, that's amount to murdering me. So I don't believe they're on this land piece. I don't believe they're on this land piece. Okay, so clearly some people would have attempted to hunt them down and blow their heads off if they were on this land piece. Like I told you, when you're in the military, some of these people are like wildly insane. So, um, if you think you're in a safe zone, you can't come into a nuclear fallout area to murder someone, right? It's just, and they're obviously got complete dementia, and they keep depersonalizing. We're random people on the internet, but then they've got a right. They probably believe they're both things. We're random people on the internet, uh, and then oh my God, who are these people on the internet abusing you? And then shut off all my communications. It's called mental insanity for a reason. Okay, so I there's no way in hell they're doing these jump squats and stuff, and or anything that's even fun. I mean, you could have an 80-year-old that's some of them are like completely modified. You know, just they can't even do that. They don't enjoy a thing. None of it. Yeah, just I saw some videos of different modifications of it. Yeah, ideas. Oh my God, that one dude, man. I can't do it upstairs, but that's probably pretty tough. And it was so funny because he was doing it like in rapid fire. Like you're in a squat and you just out in, out, but you stay squatted. I don't want to do too much of it because it will alter your physique. Yeah, I don't want to do too much of it. I don't want a man's a quadricep. But I mean, definitely if you were trying to build up your quadriceps, that's I don't want a man's quadricep. No, I'm all set with that. Um, oh God, at least by 2020. I don't know what they're like now because I'm like 53. I'll be 53 in May. But in this summer of 2020, yeah, if I even slightly bended my knees, it doesn't look like the man's though. It's like because I'm a woman and it's what I do. And you could see that there's muscles in there in the quads, but they're not, it's not the same as these dudes. So I don't want to look like a dude. No. That's why I do my natural sort of things that are fun for me. And then, yeah. Um, I also went over the thing about when I'm happy and laughing and stuff, they just cannot, all of it, the visual distortions that God sends them for my protection to at least cut back on the shut offs and stuff that they do. So, having my soda. Well, I know I had this weird dream last night, like anxiety dream about I had all this stuff that I had to do. Uh, yeah, like I'm not really recalling in the dream, but it was like stuff I never do because I don't even have like a household. I know, so it's like it was like weird stuff that all the stuff I was supposed to do, and it was like overwhelming. I couldn't do it or something. Yeah, I know. I'm just like so when I woke up, I think I sort of like at the beginning it like felt like oh no, I got to walk out to Dedham today, and then I go, I think I'm mixing it up with that dream I had last night. I don't really have yeah, just push ups, abs, water bottles, bicep curls, and triceps. Right, and then I'm gonna walk out there. Um, Today's supposed to be the coldest of the days, so it's supposed to be 45 for a high. So, um, and then it's gonna start warming up. Definite allergies in the air, yeah, for sure. I can tell from my eyes when I wake up in the morning. I don't know. It's definitely not getting any worse. That pimple on my eye. It's some sort of a thing that hopefully will just. I'm pretty sure it's that thing they were talking about. So wash it with warm water. I guess I could maybe try to do some warm compresses, but they specifically say not to mess with it. So, yeah, last night it was like it seemed funny to me, like a male pimp when I wrote the word pimple. Like I am not a pimp, but that would be funny if God made women have a bunch of those, and all these women would stop getting those eye job things they get. That's all it takes is women to have like three of those on each eye. It keeps the lids open. And they'd stop doing that. No, I don't believe in doing anything like that. I don't believe in anything that alters your face ever. I don't believe in any of it. Botox, injections, none of it. Nope. So probably people go, yeah, I can see why you don't. You bitch. Right. Well, it has to do with clean living. Some people realize that when they do a cleanse and they have completely clean living until people try to force you to have toxins poured down your throat. Right. So just imagine without all this pollution what people naturally look like. Right. Because it's just, you don't have any of that stuff in your body at all. The body has to put up with. So, well, yeah. And to compromise liver. So, chugging along. I got up at 6, right? And I forgot to put, I don't know if I forgot to put them down or just fell asleep without putting things down. So I didn't have to do it this morning. Or, yeah. So I get up and I go, oh, it's still dark out. It's 6 o'clock. And then I went, no, that's because when I got up, I thought it was 6 o'clock, but it was spring forward to 7 o'clock. So it's probably about 7 o'clock, I guess, now that the sun comes up, where it would have been about 6 o'clock, right? Yeah, because they sprung forward, so it seems later. Eventually, you forget about it. Like, yeah, it's not, springing forward isn't really affecting me this year. I remember when I had my kids, yeah, what was it? Fall back. Yeah, that was a problem. They used to go to bed about 6:30 at night. Yeah. Well, if I was in that house and I had all my kids, that means at least one or two of them was in school at the time too. They get tired. You know, I explained mine don't take naps and they're allowed to run around and stuff, so they get tired. Yeah, a lot of people are probably not allowing their children to get enough sleep. You don't realize stuff like that until you have your own children, and you can see you're not doing anything weird. Yeah, just I would state that there's probably a lot of extremely tired children, just completely overscheduled and stuff. It's sad. I would have homeschooled them and then they would have been even more rested. That's my one regret is not homeschooling for sure. I should say, I don't know if that's my one regret. Video games and not homeschooling. Otherwise, I couldn't have done anything different in terms of all this nonsense. I conform to a species, so it is what it is, and then complete extinction. And I'll never have to worry about this crap again. Not that I worried about it at the time. Just every day, huh? Okay. Yeah, not you anticipate that madness. Now we're officially in the 14th year of it today. So, well, that's God's way of explaining to them they can't change. So it's an unchangeable being. Went over the thing about grandiosity and that they don't think. Those are usually sort of like the most probable things that they would want to ask in their desperation of bargaining, um, while pretending they're not doing that. Is if they can be reborn in other species, why can't they be reborn on my species? Because whatever their psyche is not the same psyche that I have. And that can't make any sense. right? Without a brain binder that's a species that's going into an extinction, and without your psyche, you don't exist. You go non-exist. There's nothing there. Right. So whatever that psyche is with a different brain is a different species. It's not. No, you don't have the same psyche that I have. So, and then they usually want to know, why would God make them with a thinking mind? You don't have a thinking mind. You quote unquote thought you had a thinking mind, but you don't. You don't even know what that word means. It means to consider, right? You don't have a thinking mind. Right? You can tell by your behaviors and your treatment of me, and your experience with the creator, and your nonstop battling with the creator and battling with me in reality. You don't have a thinking mind. It's just, there isn't a way to explain to a being that doesn't think how it doesn't think, other than that. It becomes never ending and you'll drive yourself mad. Just, you don't have a thinking mind. It means to consider. If you had ever considered things, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. Okay, so you do not have thinking minds. I call it mental reasoning. Like, you reason things, but you don't think. The whole concept of your species is a them they, and so that's impossible for a species that has a them they to think. It's just, don't beat yourselves up about it. It's a being. Some of them had to believe that they think because it keeps them calmer. So that's why they become sort of like obnoxious, uh, and obnoxious and more appearing more grandiose, because it's the way that God's containing them. Usually, I think that at least with the males, they begin to appear more choir boy, like cigar boys. They appear more and more like cigar boys. Is the grandiosity, uh, like it's, yeah. I don't know if it's got something to do with the 25-year-old in Plymouth, that I'm not interested in going out with these 25 years old. It's possible that it is. I know, because you go, okay, so that goes to Twitter, and then they send her a prompt that they deleted a live stream filled with humor, by the way. I was trying to remember what I was talking about yesterday morning, and a lot of it was about recovery. So, yeah, just, they clearly want to destroy every recovery program. They don't want anyone to laugh and have fun. All of it. Yeah, just, I remember going, and then I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna tie that, I'm gonna pin this, and then I'm gonna go shuffle, shuffle. Just, they don't want anyone having a laughter ever in their lives. They don't want anyone off of drugs and alcohol or cigarettes. We call for a ceasefire as you're deleting the person who has a recovery program, who is sent here by Almighty God's material over and over again. That is the live stream that you deleted. Profoundly insane animals. That is a live stream that you deleted. So anyway, yeah, it could have something to do with that. So you just go. I already explained it a bunch of times. Right? If the person is my species, God's telling him to get the fuck out of Plymouth because of the extinction. I know, you just go. It's it's a perfect example. If he, especially if he's my species, that is what it's a holocaust of anybody that's even remotely cute, as you call it. So Brian Buchanan, that's what people say about people before they get to know them. They don't go, "Oh, I'm on fire and I got a wet They don't do that unless they're just grotesque and have mania. I will smash into all of that is just disgusting. They go, "Oh, who's that? That he's cute or she's cute." I hear dudes talking, they say it too. They're not belittling you. So, anyways, perfect example of it. He shouldn't have any type of facial hair because he's so young. Yeah, he definitely shouldn't have any facial hair. And it's like somewhat the way they dress too. If he's got any type of buttocks, he needs to not wear those pants that go like the shelf, like Sue's son was wearing. Because even I keep on going to call him Norm. Even Lester was getting angry because it's envy, and he might be getting a little bit of weird thoughts or something. He was beginning to become fixated, I think, on people's rear ends because he said something to me about my rear end. He was getting like a little bit too whatever with me, which is a form of abuse towards women, by the way. When you keep reducing a woman to a sexual object when she's trying to be a friend, right? It's just a form of belittling a person and de equalizing me. It's not a compliment. Right, just, oh, I don't mind looking at your rear end and stuff. And you go, what? You don't mind looking at my rear end? Okay. He has dementia. Yeah, he has dementia. He's never talked to me like that before, ever in the couple of years that I knew him. He was not talking to me like that. It's about a dementia. So, and then he got angry about Sue's son because he was saying something about pulling his pants up. He has other pants on under it. It's a whole style. Like these leggings I'd wear with sweatpants, which I think are dirty. I gotta wear, yeah, I gotta wear different ones. And then they sit lower because you have a shelf ass. He's not retarded. To me, he looked like a child. I'm sure he's probably in his 20s. Yeah, he looked like a child because he's only in his 20s, right? And he's like angry. And do you seriously not understand what he's doing? He's probably some dude that like Max totally on chicks, I'm sure. When they're around their mother, they see, yeah, and then it probably like laughter to their friends when they hear people like me talking. And, yeah, because you think that, but it is actually true. He needs to be protected because he was preyed upon by that woman in the shelter. I don't know how old she is. She's got to be at least in her 30s, if not her 40s. So it's not that I don't believe that sometimes you can have a May December relationship, but not when you're using drugs and you're going around to apparently every meal in a shelter because you're ill. It's called mania, right? It's like I try to be nice about it because I have no idea, but I went over this a little bit ago. It would really surprise me if her and Brian didn't ever mess around because they both use crack cocaine. And it's just sort of disgusting that neither one of them would mention that to me. But I mean, you could have a rare occasion where, for some reason, one of them was like, "Oh God, what are you on?" I would never go near him. It would probably be her that would say it. Maybe until you saw him with me, right? Maybe, like, say that she ever got a thought in her head to get with him. Maybe at that point she would go, "Yeah, I really got to try to control myself." This is it can be scary when you have mania, especially when you're using drugs that are making you go, "Hey, baby," to everybody around you. I'm sure that's scary and gross, right? When you don't involve yourself in my personal life, I have a lot more sympathy for your mania, believe me. Um, you can't expect people like Judith to have that type of sympathy because, yeah, you clearly go, you couldn't have drawn the line at me, right? It may be like that. Like, say that she ever like did mess with him after I left or something, or she thought about it. It could take something like that for her to go, yeah, there's definitely something wrong with me, man. Yeah, because if she was ever in all the time he was around there, especially if he tried to talk to her once, because that's Brian. He talks to everybody to get money. Everybody and anybody. It don't make you pretty, believe me. So yeah, and she would be like, "Oh my God, this guy is disgusting, man." Right? And then all of a sudden, because she saw him with me, it would be because of that. Yeah, and her illness. Yeah, I don't want to be mean. Saying that you have that's a medical condition. It's a psychiatric condition. Saying you have a psychiatric condition isn't really an insult. So it helps other people understand why you won't go out with them, Alex, after one of those endeavors, right? You just go, okay, the person has mania, right? Like it's just not really interested in you, right? So it's hot, it's cold, yeah. Because I'm on soda too. It's hot, it's cold. It's getting old. There you go. It's hot, it's cold, it's getting old. Never do anything to your face. Never ever do anything to your face. It's clearly some sort of body dysmorphia. Yes, it's definitely some sort of body dysmorphia to be doing that. Because you don't actually look younger than me. You just look freakish, right? It becomes sort of, it's like a calling card for a psychiatric condition. It's not the same thing. I don't know what goes on with Cher, but it's not the same thing as people, at least at a certain age, where it's all makeup and distance and lighting. It's not the same thing as actually doing stuff. Like even maybe some of those people when they're performing and they put that, isn't there some kind of tape they can put on? Right. That's not the same thing as surgery, injections. Yeah, that is, never do anything to your face, man. Just whoa. Implants, all that stuff. It's definitely body dysmorphia. I think that your mind's eye should age with your age. Yeah, like even though people can seem immature like myself and they like younger dudes, they really are aware of their age. Yeah, like younger dudes becomes they've got to be in their 30s. When I was in my 30s towards my 40s, I was like they've got to be 22 because literally, yeah, I mean that's how you sort of ward off boys that are looking for a mother or something, and they're highly prone to being abused because your society says a 20 and a 21-year-old is an adult. So you have to have a cutoff age. Yeah, when you're like 33, a 22-year-old is exactly not really that young, but they are. It just depends on the dude. Some people I see, like I told you when I went to Nashville and I met those Bobby Long people, they look like children. Right. So sometimes when you tell people you met someone in a bar, he said he was 26 or whatever, people think you're disgusting because you don't see what the person looks like. Yeah, some of them are like some dude could tell you he's 30 and you go, all right, I know you're 30, but it's like this, you're like way too young looking. Just that is so some of these younger dudes that are like 20, 25, like him, they got to shave. He would still seem too young looking to me, but they got to shave those the facial hair. So I yeah, I reiterated that about Brian. If someone ever like if he I don't believe in doing this. No. Like they did it to Dawn. It's like abusive. If someone actually shaved his head because they would after the thing about the hair, people are wicked, horrifyingly ill. Yeah. And made him shave. it would grow back, but you go, he wouldn't look the same without a beard. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. He's getting up there in age too. Nah, I don't think anybody's gonna care that actually likes him though. You can't be like that when you because a dude isn't with you, right? Beards grow back, but if he ever shaved, he would be totally like he was in the ring. Probably it's probably pretty bad because that Missy chick, I don't remember her ever telling me she was smoking crack cocaine. Yeah, she was like, I don't know how old she was. Maybe she was like 40, and it was like pretty severe. And then remember that dude that Jerry was talking to one day, that blonde chick? I think he said her name was Dorothy or something. She had that too. I can tell by looking at them that they're younger than me, and you go, what's going on with your face? No, that's not from smiling and laughing. No, no, that's a lot of drug use over some years. It's not from smiling and laughing. No, it's just a certain, the creases are so profound and deep, you can tell it's from using. Especially, I guess, yeah. I mean, I talked to that chick. I lived with her for 3 weeks in that house. She doesn't smile and laugh. Okay, that's another way you can tell. They don't smile and laugh ever, so it's not from smiling and laughing. Some people actually do smile and laugh a lot. I'm a notor. You probably wouldn't get it from stuff that's online, but I'm a notorious. Always have a smile. I'm just one of those people. Always smiling and laughing. I have a lot of enjoyment in life. So clearly, last night was another example of. I don't remember really. I shouldn't say I don't remember people being like that, but they weren't allowed to like go into computers and phones and be doing that. It's like really bizarro. Yeah, just a complete rage about people that escape. I just imagine how a teenager feels that escape to their bedrooms and they're just in there tooling around laughing. It's almost like parents coming into a room and shutting a radio off, even when you're just there with headphones on, because they can hear you laughing. Yeah, it used to be the excuse, turn that damn music down. And then I'm sure when children got headphones, they'd come and shut it off because they can hear them smiling and laughing. It's like Salem, like the Salem witch trials. Yeah, just how are you that miserable? But yet they don't. Yeah, and many times it probably becomes like this because they are in charge of the land and they pay the rent. You can tell that people are living out all these whacked out fantasies. It's just brutal to have to live through for the Passover. It's just brutal. They're all going to pretend that they're in the Tudors. They're all going to pretend they're in this. It's just, that is a lot of brain injury. So then I'm sure God explains to them, I may be wrong, explains to me how they can't stay here. Okay, because that's their idea of heaven. That's when you broke out of your binder. You don't have to follow any of the laws that were set up to protect people. And then you do whatever you want based on aggression and population size. So I'm sure that you could still have many of them today doing that. They look around like they're at a fig tree and go, nobody cares what you're doing, Mary. Nobody is doing that. Whoa. Okay. And there's my am I geese doing it? Like well, that's not really what I meant, but are people supposed to just do everything I do and then that means that something is real? That might be what they do. I know you just go. Everybody doesn't have to be doing jog walks. No, that's not what I mean. I meant it's like this, folks. Like that's not my reality. I'm a different species. That has nothing to do with that. I mean, I thought you were getting that when I was explaining to you about how it works here. I am not reliant on another member of my species. I have other species here if I need help with things. Wait for it. Is another species gonna bring you food? It's on a tree. God made it for me, and I walk over and go, like I'm in Wizard of Oz, hey. And yes, another species is gonna tackle a turkey and then I cook it. So, yes, another species is gonna do that. Another species is gonna sacrifice itself, and then another species comes and picks it up for food and carries it off, and then I know there's food there. So yes, another species is gonna, and then another species is gonna go, here we are, and here's your dandelion greens. Yes, so another species is gonna do that. Okay? This is temporary, and obviously I am emboldened to all of it. Okay? Not emboldened, I am, what do they call that? Not emboldened. Um, I am subject to it for the duration until God puts you people where you're going to be. Okay? I understand that right now, but that's not going to be reality. Okay? I get like a lot of it is justifying what you've done. Okay. Because you took me off of 4 acres of land where I could have had feed animals. Okay. I had a well and a septic system. I lived there without electricity. Okay. Things are not ideal, but I did it. It's not the greatest thing to do in Florida, but um, okay, just the things that you do and say are actually not true. Like you created this, and then you're going to act like I need you somehow. It's just a monstrous insanity, which probably has something to do with your bargaining. Like you're trying to prove to God that you have to be kept alive for my sake. Just like this. I know you just go, what in the? It's going on all over the place. I talk to other people. I already explained that God has to keep these people alive because they're paying a rent. And you just go, this is gruesome. It is gruesome. It is gruesome. That's why I told you the certain group of people that are all going to die to end it. So I'm just waiting for that. And I don't really worry about that. That's not really in my. It was a couple of weeks ago, but it's not now. So more. Good morning. I think what did I say it was? 11 weeks before Memorial Day weekend. In Massachusetts, they consider that the beginning of the summer. So, yeah, because that's why I tried to explain to animals on a phone last year. This is not a normal April. It doesn't matter, right? Just they know it's not a normal April, but to them, it's got to convert into something else. But just, anyways, 88 degrees in April is not normal. It's probably 55 degrees in April in Massachusetts. Yeah. If I had to think back, it's probably usually about 55 degrees in April. Okay. You could still have snow in March conceivably in Massachusetts. It's usually pretty cold here in the wintertime. So this is a completely non-event in Massachusetts history, but we're still gonna shut off live streams and just make your situation worse and worse by the day. It is what it is. They like the way that God is doing it, they mentally will never get to that because God is compassionate. He's literally not making these people suffer as he's killing them. It's just more suffering for people like myself. But it's just they don't really recover from emotional upsets and stuff like I do. It's a different species, and they cannot cope with dying. And their reality is completely different than mine. So it's just like obviously a temporary state and it's annoying, but um, I've explained it a bunch of times. Um, I think it does well to explain to animals about differences about a being that it is angry and would actually end your life at this point, and not people are afraid. Like there's a difference. For my species, it's kind of a mixed thing where it's the same thing. Like it's not a natural thing to end someone's life, so there is like a natural fear in it because you're not supposed to do it. You do it, you don't like being that enraged, and then you feel guilty. So it's a thing, it's a natural thing that we don't do. We just don't have a desire to do it, and it feeds into the rage that you're actually forcing a person to want to end your life. Get it? Right. So it's just not the emotions that you think. I've stated it a million times that I'm not a 9-year old girl in a closet. Whatever it is that you things are and what you're doing, it's God explained it to me clearly is that you're that grossly insane. You're trying to feed off of my fear like I'm a child. Like you're John Cooey because you've lost so much brain matter. And you have to try to mentally reason God containing you. And so that's what you're making up in your brain matter as you die. So, okay, this was the end of soda. What else was I going to say about the weather? Yeah, right. 88 degrees in April in Massachusetts is not normal. So, ooh, that's good. Thank you. So, like I said, when they do that, it sent it. I does it actually pause music too? I don't know because I had two different pages open, but I think it does. It shows you how insane the being is, right? Because it's literally has to interrupt what I'm doing. Okay, so that's a person who is should be in an institution. So, anyways, it has to interrupt what I'm doing. So it does everything and anything to freeze a video, just like that yes thing. Okay. So a prompt comes up saying, we removed some of your material. And then in order to get rid of it, you have to click on something like And I'm like, all right. I was like, material. I haven't uploaded anything. So I click on it. It's the fucking live stream from that morning. And you just go, of course I get angry. Oh yeah, of course I get angry. That's a normal reaction. Okay, so just I've told it a million times. I don't kill people. Okay, and even if I killed people, I can't kill you through a computer. That's not possible to do. Like, you clearly want someone to kill you. You clearly do. Just now we're going into the 14th year of this. It's like all of it is probably that. I gotta say, you gotta think about the type of people that could actually orchestrate DCF going to my house, everything that's happened in my life since that day, the whole entire 13 years. Okay, and yet they're still every single day they gotta pull their skin over their diaper and tuck it in or whatever it is. Someone comes and checks their catheter. Right, and then they gotta somewhat view their disgusting rotting corpse, but they're still quote unquote alive. That is what that species is. Yeah, and when they've lost that much brain matter, that is what it is. They just won't stop attacking you because they pick a person, they pick a primate that they think is them, because they're all pretty much them, and then they won't stop attacking that primate until it kills it, and then they go like this and become it. They're the one because essentially it's true. Like it seems like they're basically one soul. Yeah, they're not a person. They don't have like nothing about them is an individual. Once you start watching them, you go, what the? So then, yeah, they just believe that they can become me. You can't become me. I'm not a primate. I'm not in your soul stream. I'm not in your one love. You can't turn into me. You can't do any of the things I do because you're not as my species. You're a different species. I got news for you. I could do any of the things that you do. Yes, I could do any of the things that you do. I don't want to, but I could do any of the things that you do. I'm brand new. I could do any of the things you do. Because I explained it a million times. All your species is a primate psyche with a brain binder on it that it was made to be a Christian. You're supposed to be pretending to be me, but in a Christian way, because you can't do my behaviors. The whole thing was set up because you can't do my behaviors. You put every one of your members, sir and ma'am, that went into non existence before you does the same thing. It's not new. Nothing you could ever mentally reason is new. You're never going to be brand new. You never have an original thought. Been doing this a very long time. It's once, anyways, you put me in a cage and then you say that's what a human being is. That it's all you do. Yep. That's why you don't want us to jog because you don't jog. You can't jog. So that's not what it is. And it gets worse and worse and worse. Like if you're at the point where you can't walk, you want everybody to sit. If you're at the point where you lay down in a bed, everyone's got to lay down in a bed. It's a gruesome, profound insanity. I don't, you just I don't know if it's the standing. You can't laugh, so no one can laugh. You can't stop using, so there's no recovery program. I would assume it's for some reason I'm thinking it's that because that was hours of talking, and as soon as you did it, that's what was in my mind. So it was probably God telling me that that's what your problem is. Yeah, you're all it doesn't matter, man. Those old people take drugs, they take Adderall, they're probably meth heads. You think those people setting off missiles and killing us all on jacked up on meth? They don't why are they so against a recovery program? Because they can't stop using. That's why. Why are they so against a celibacy program? That's disgusting. And then you have the other ones that are going to force everybody to be celibate because they can't get laid. They want to have sex, they just can't. So everybody else is going to be like this. Those people putting everybody in rooms with no overnight guests and shit and flying it into a rage when you have a boyfriend. That's because they can't have sex. They don't share my morality. They're not trying to be celibate. They have no choice. Then you could have some of them that can't stay celibate. You just go, you can't ever be me. You're a different species. I know they probably killed my river otters because they can't swim and they're not cute. And I don't go like Michael Foran, man. Just imagine the fury. Thank God there was no female around other than Karen. Yeah, there was no female present, thank God. Just imagine if there was females that don't understand what I told them. Okay, and they're like 25, 30, 35. Some of them are old, like that disgusting Chrissy chick. And they're like, oh my God, this guy's so hot. And like they think there's no guy that they can't get because most of them think like that. And then they don't understand that I told them repeatedly that the man was my father. They just won't get it in their head, right? And then something like that happens, and he doesn't smile the whole time. He's just totally like hi and chill. And all of a sudden, he turns with a huge smile and goes, "That is so cute." Could you imagine? There's no possible that they would because to them that doesn't matter. He wouldn't be able to fight off that many disgusting jaws killing me and ripping my hair out and stuff and clawing at me. He wouldn't be able to. He's only one man because they think that doesn't matter. You could scratch to death a man's daughter because you just flew into an envious rage because you're not so cute, and then still think that he's got to get with you because he has to get with someone. They have to get men can't go without sex. That's why I can't stand fucking females, man. So disgusting. They all do it. Every single one of them. It's a different species. Take a poll. Take a poll. That's why they talk about meals like they do. They literally believe that no man can resist their vaginal slit. Every man has to have a vaginal slit. Just, it's only a matter of time. It's probably way worse for any man. If there was ever an actual man that was in this situation, it's probably way more gross. Just yeah, just know that when they start talking about meals like that, that's what they think. Because obviously, like the married ones will word it in a different way. They will talk about their own husbands like that in a group, like on that view show, and then you go, "Oh my God, she's one of them." They don't want a celibacy program. You go, they would know what the hell to do with themselves without a dick. You just go, what is this? They're staying celibate? We've got to get them all on drugs. Quick to the haunted forest, more drugs. It isn't even about money. They have their own money. You go, oh my God, this is really disgusting right here. Do they think that's hot? With the back arch. Gonna have that, gotta have that, gotta have that, gotta have that. Please, please. Is that hot? Nothing more disgusting. Never in a day. Never in a day. Just, it's so repulsive and disgusting to me. So, anyways, that is so cute. I know you just, that's why you can't have children with them. It's why people were told to socially distance and that forced breeding was over. They literally cannot. You just go, wait a minute, cute, but I have a vaginal slit. Some of them, they can't even stand that men have mothers. I've met females like that. So those are the ones that admit it. Those are the ones that admit it. You just go, what the hell? That is not your father. That's your husband. I mean, didn't your father have a wife? Whoa. I mean, at least admit it. Go, no, she fell off the cliff. Good job, Allison. She fell off the cliff. Because they can't. That's what I'm saying. They all ultimately would end up abusing me. And then they got to be pushed off the cliff. It's just so that fuel can be burnt, and now they're all being put down. But it is that disgusting. Just, yeah, like, just imagine someone like Michael Foran going, I don't understand this because, no, 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 no. You would not get away from me, you disgusting animal, until you got stuck because you have to have an offspring of mine. And now you're trying to kill said offspring right off the cliff. Never again. It is that. Yep, it is that. Why did she not get $3,200? Female voices right off the cliff. What is this? She has to go to court. Female voice right off the cliff. You don't take my insurance, female, right off the cliff. Get it? You're even females at a social security phone. That's not being approved right off the cliff. Absolutely disgusting. You things wouldn't stop shoving a vaginal slit at a dude until he stuck you because you got to have an offspring. And then you start attacking those offspring. Done, over. Every time, same thing. You're not any different than your ancestors that went poof before you. It's the whole planet, thermonuclear weapons. Poof, 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 gone. Human beings don't even have those issues in terms of like non-topics that weird Neanderthals like to create. Like, which is worse? Stuff like that that doesn't even exist in a human kingdom. That wouldn't exist in a human couplehood where they form children. It's not even an issue, right? But I know you just go, it's not an issue, but your spouse, if you had, would be your partner. But that doesn't even exist because you're talking about a person that's your partner and they both come from you. I mean, the child comes from the both of you. That's why you don't have this shit like you have with this animal in Florida. You don't have that in the human kingdom. Most Neanderthals don't even do that. Okay, so you um, were mad in love with this female that you had to marry. You impregnated her on purpose, pretty much against her will, because you had to marry her. Okay. And then you agreed to keep having children because you didn't want all those children. She did because you wanted to stay married to her. Okay. And so, because she doesn't want to be married to you, you took all her children from her and destroyed their lives by removing their mother. Okay, you are sort of like an unnatural being. You're an animal. You're most certainly not a human being. That is just gruesome, and that another person would even go near you, but it happens all the time because they don't have thinking minds, and they're grandiose, and just the whole nature of their couplehoods is different. Doesn't matter. During the time when I wanted to get a divorce after 2006, why didn't I ever just take all the children and fucking take off? Why would I do that to my children? Why would I give them no father? That's why you're not me. You're a fucking animal that God's killing. Absolute disgusting fucking animal. You're a female. You're not even a fucking man. So, anyways, doesn't make any sense. It's like really, really weird, isn't it? You would say that you're madly in love with someone. You would stay with the person 20 years, and every fucking word out of your mouth is a lie. When it comes down to it, you're just a depraved fucking animal. You would literally murder your own fucking offspring because you can't be married to someone that you can't possibly care about. You're just gross and insane. I know you just go, like, that's a fucking collection piece that you obtain and hold on to. Anyways, that's why I don't want to be with the dude. Did you leave the hospital? Okay, look, there's no possible way you even like me. Go away and stay away. Click. I don't need to capture some dude and drag him around fucking Quincy Center as a showpiece. No interest in that. Jeremy, probably. I could say that people could think that you and Derek just dragged me down there like a showpiece. Was seriously? No, come on now. I think he thought it was funny. I think he thought it was funny. Yeah, so I guess they're gonna give me a voucher. They're gonna give me housing. Yeah, so I gotta go down the Ave. I got a new girlfriend. This is her stuff. Thanks, Mary. I guess someone's paying for my shit for whatever amount of time until. That's how you do it, Brian Buchanan and others. Don't ever think to do that. No, that's how you do it, exactly how they did it. Clearly, we weren't interested in each other. We weren't in couples. I didn't go, hey, I was thinking if you wanted to go out with me. That's not what happened with Alex either. I know you just go, really? He seems that messed up that he would actually think that I would think it was funny too. Hey, so yeah, then I started screwing this chick after you left and blah blah blah. Really, never talk to me. You ruined my fucking song, Creep, that I will eventually have unruined. You're not the creep, creep. I'm the creep in the fucking song. That's why you went blah crazy shit. Sticking your dick in 14 other people. Hey, everyone's fucking friend. Oh yeah, I got rid of a psycho. Yeah, that's too much. She's a fucking creep, man. She's a fucking loser. I don't know what the fuck she was even doing here. That would be awesome if Almighty God forced you to fucking out of those freezes. Oh yeah, I know. Oh God, no, not 30 more. Fucking psycho. She's a fucking loser. Just like Karen did. Karen did it. Loser. Thank you. It's called Creep. Look it up. Radiohead. The number of people. What are you doing here? It's called Creep Radiohead. Look it up. I'm brand new. Nothing to do with that speed crap. That's exactly what he would do. He would start acting like one of these nuded males. What the hell? This speed crap. And then, what was the other stuff I was saying that was wicked funny? Oh, now it's 10 o'clock. That, you're no Charles Manson. So, anyway, you're in an Arton. Okay. You're in an Arton to self terminate. So, that's how God does it. I explained it because you like to feel that you're controlling your extinction. That's why you have that stuff. And it saves members of your species from literal starvation because their brains are dying because of the scent brain plague per the Passover and your species' complete and total extinction. So they become completely incapable of driving or caring for themselves, but yet the body is still functioning. So, right. So it leads to literal starvation. She hasn't been able, it's been at least close to 4 years since she's been able to cook food, probably. I mean, when's the last time you saw her get herself to a grocery store or food pantry? A long time. A long, long time. So, right, when they don't have forced hostages and they don't have fuel, that's why they keep trying to do what they're doing with the housing. So God is speeding up their rate of dying. Yeah, like I think they definitely went into some sort of delusion where they thought that it was just going to be a new societal plan, or it was okay to do this. Like they literally think that they're so gross and grandiose. They literally like made up that an able-bodied adult woman just loses all of her children because then they stay with Al and then they'll take care of Al and Angela. And then I'm here. What is the purpose of me being here though? Other than your made up excuse. Because I've never been the woman's caretaker. So that's your made up excuse. Okay. Right. And none of these hostages are walking to a food pantry anymore, right? So that these folks understand that they are mentally ill. Right. Because if that's happening to all of us, it's God doing it. Right. Right. God's doing it so that they can be shown that that was a made up excuse too. And then it's just about them understanding why they can't stay in this physical form. When you literally believe that there are people that are created to be people's hostages and servants, you can't stay in this physical form. That's the only way I can explain it to you. And I know that you beings go, but like, what would happen to us? Like, and then some of you make up that people take turns being servants, and then I have servants. When do I get servants? When do I get servants that do that for me? I'm going to be 53. When do I get servants? Okay, so um, you're just going to transition into another form of life. You're not staying in this physical form at all. Nope. None of that was part of my transition plan. Okay, so you make up things. Nope. None of that was in those people that you think are going to be forced into your houses are not your children. Okay? Complete fucking loons. Okay? And this woman has had a caretaker since the time I came up here. And I had 6 minors. I was their caretaker. Okay? So you're being put down. That's why everything is like that. They're called thermonuclear weapons. So do the things you want to do within reason. You're supposed to be staying in your US laws. You're not supposed to be able to do this to a person. So you need to go about doing things you want to do, take a cruise, fly to Europe, celebrate St. Patrick's Day, Easter, go to the beach, okay, because you won't be back here in this physical form. So if there's anything that seems remotely like this physical form, learn how to play piano, guitar, um, any of it. Go to the movies. That you're not gonna have go to Disney World. You're not gonna have another chance. I'm being kind by explaining it to you. I'm the person who told these people to stop it with the lockdown. They would have had everybody like this now for 4 years. They have no intent of stopping it. It's like an animal under a tree, and everyone is going to sit like this until they die. So I got them to stop doing that. You don't need to get angry at me because I'm explaining to you the truth. So the things that you want to do, you're not going to get another rebirth. Whereas people like myself, we have all eternity to do whatever the hell we want because we don't do fucked up shit, pardon my French. We don't hold people hostage. We don't make people our slaves. So, right, I don't force people to live in my play. I don't pretend people are criminals and they got to go to jail and that's a fun show. I don't do any of that. I don't relive history. Now you're going to be the captive and I'll be the master. I don't do any of that. So, Right. I'm trying to help you because there's been a lot of people that have been doing that, and they obviously think everyone is stupid, because they're completely amoral. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that you folks have been doing is amoral, but maybe you didn't know that. So I'm explaining it to you. It's completely amoral. And now we're in the 14th year of it. Making up that this is something I do, I just exist in a room. Okay, no, that's not something I do. Went over the thing about this business about this chemo taxes thing because I was trying to figure out if they actually did make it up after I explained what happened at the airport. Okay. They can make up articles and say it was from whatever time ago because even on YouTube, I'm only getting videos from 14 years ago. So I have no idea if that's a made up thing or not. Okay. But in terms of how people get as monstrously insane as these folks are, that would be an example of it. Somebody that would has like a medical book or something maybe from before 2011 would know if it's they made it up or not. So it sounds like they made it up. Okay. And you go, okay, so is that why you can't come out of this with 2 5 star and print of the nail and eye of horse? Is that why you can't come out of it? Because you think everything that God is showing you is something that you made up. But you go, why did you make it up though? Why would you do that? You weren't trying to influence society. You forgot what you were doing. I keep explaining it to you. Why on earth would you invent Operation Pillow Cloud? Why would you ever do that? I'm explaining to you that you have complete dementia. So if you can't answer why you made up Operation Pillow Cloud, you're being told why. You thought you were going to save your species. That is why you did it. You were trying to mentally reason what happened to me in Florida. So then you decided that you were going to use me and 6 minors and this whole DCF insanity to get people to stop burning fuel. So you're clearly not saving your species. You're killing off your entire species. And thank you for doing so. But this business that you're doing with me, that's not going to coincide with a rebirth, just so you know. Why did you fly to Rome and tell the Pope to quit? Does that mean that the Facebook page where I typed for him to remove his defiled garment and come to the union with Yahweh is not a prophecy? It's part of an art and explaining some of the stuff that you've done. If you have it in your head after those events that they're not prophecies, and that's why it's okay that you didn't just return my children to me. Um, Everything that I would begin to type and say, you would begin trying to do. It's part of what God has done to you. So thank you for killing off your entire species. Much appreciated. It can take a while to get a comprehension about what God is doing and what He's done to you, which that was a long time of frustration to have an understanding because I would have said it. I'm only allowed to know it when I say it to you. That's why. So that is why you've been doing that, right? If you have any comprehension of your own mental reasoning with the constant proof points, you would be compelled to start doing everything that I said and typed. Just in case it's a prophecy, you have to tell yourselves you're doing it. Just like Operation Pillow Cloud and the Pope quitting. You were given an exact date prophecy so that you would return my children to me. Okay, so you're killing off your entire species. Thank you, and you won't rebirth. It's both things. Hopefully, members of my species got all that. Okay. It's both things, but they can't comprehend that. It has to be one or the other. And they go, well, which is it? It's both things because it's almighty and he looked ahead. It's both things. Just you were told in 2013 to immediately begin raising your fuel prices. You didn't do that. You actually told your people to keep driving. You actually told them to keep burning more and more fuel because you were already murderously insane. How is that making any sense? Why did you make up Operation Pillow Cloud? Why did you do it? It's mental insanity, but I'm explaining it to you. You're in a God sent delusion to exterminate your entire species. You can't explain why you made up Operation Pillow Cloud, and you can't explain why you told the Pope to quit. I'm explaining it to you. You folks were already murderously insane. That is why God had me doing this at 2000, end of 2010. You were already murderously insane. Almighty God prevented you from murdering everyone on the planet. You're murderously insane animals that go angry when you realize you're just going to die and that there's going to be people here living after you're gone. So, yeah, God would tell you things, everything and anything to prevent you from being able to do that. Why did you make up Operation Pillow Cloud? Why did you tell the Pope to quit? And then tell everybody to drive more? Because you're in and out and to kill yourselves off. Thank you very much. Uh, After 2011, uh, when you found out about what happened with me and you didn't just tell the state of Florida that they did something wrong and all the usual things that you do in the United States of America, Almighty God put you into what's called an artin. It's a God sent delusion to kill off, which essentially is your entire clan group. That's typically what happens in the past when your species takes my children. But it's the whole planet now because it's the Passover. It's the end of your species. This is what you do if that's a psychosis and not true is you explain why you made up Operation Pillow Cloud and you explain why you went to Rome and told the Pope to quit. It has nothing to do with what the people did or didn't do. The people are not allowed to do anything because you control everyone, Almighty Oz. It has nothing to do with what the people did. The people are not the military and the government. The people are not anybody that could have explained to Florida that or sent an executive force to arrest people. The people don't do that. That's your job. So, yeah, you did a whole switcheroo and you changed your mind and then told people to burn mad fuel because you're in a God sent illusion to kill off your entire species. Thank you very much. You were headed towards a certain horrifying extinction anyway. Okay? God looked ahead, and it's obvious by your species' behavior. They don't have an ability to change, it's a them they that you obviously perpetuate because you're going to be in charge. Right? You're being saved from what would happen, even though you beings don't give a shit because you're old and you'd be dead long before that. But talking 10, 12, 14, okay? I don't think you could go past 14 billion and then it's just nothing but cannibalism and lack of water and death. It just clearly a hell on earth with the same result. So you're doing your species a service by putting the hammer down before it comes to that. I already explained the thing about infertility and that your species should be being told to expect that. But until you things are dead in the ground, none of that can take place. You will not stop it with your made up realities and shutting off communications. Nothing can be conveyed to them until you physically die. That's obvious. They want to know why God wouldn't just make them infertile, and there's an answer to that. You don't have an answer to that, but I do because God explained it to me. And anybody with a thinking mind can understand that based on behaviors. You already began stealing people's children because you don't have children and you can tell that your genetic lines are ill. So, and you fly into these panic frenzies when there's nothing going on. A la 2020, clearing food shelves and stuff and trying to hoard food in storage units to rot when there was nothing had changed in a day. Okay. So the second that you realize you're going infertile, you would try to start stealing other people's children. You'd start panicking all over planet Earth. You'd start trying to kidnap females and harvest their eggs. Much of the stuff that you were doing already. But you were doing it per money payments and things, but you would start doing it against their will. Okay? So when you get to a certain phase of it, then God will make you infertile and you won't produce any more children. Right? Some of you may have reasonably went, we've had 3 deformed children. I think I'm just going to get the Isher finally. We produced 3 mentally retarded children. I think maybe we should get a vasectomy. We've had 4 abortions because they all have mutations. Maybe we should adopt. stuff like that. All of these folks that are like um, doing all these weird fertility treatments, that's why they're doing it. They probably had several malformed pregnancies that they had to terminate, or just continuous miscarriages. Not just they're not getting pregnant, because there's a reason why they attempted to do IVF and all of that nonsense. I mean, sperm injections. So you know the business about the egg. It's basically an egg hardening. It has to do with that liner that you're not going to be able to get pregnant. But first you'll have stillborns, and then you'll have repeated miscarriages, and then you'll just be completely infertile. Well, one of the things about this is because of what you've done to my species on this land piece, that you don't have any human beings to kidnap. You're just kidnapping members of your own species, but that will certainly lead to a bunch of wars. I mean, people are only going to tolerate these DCF seizures of children so long before they start going to actual war. So you've got to be put down, because some people would say you're already that ill. But because it was done in the fashion it was done, people keep running around like Kerry, making up that there was a reason why Karen and her husband's children were taken. And there's a reason why my children were taken. There is no reason. Okay, so before it gets to that, I mean, clearly people with firearms aren't going to let you take their children because you can't produce any. And you have nothing in your head but that. If you don't believe that people wouldn't show up to a house, even knowing that people have firearms and they're willing to shoot them dead, you need to really wake up to reality as to how sick a person would have to be trying to steal someone's children from them. They literally would. There's only so many bullets. So only so many bullets. You got to figure out how many people here have firearms and how many people don't, and how many people, how many children you produced and how many children they produced that all think they're supposed to have a child. They all think that. They're all supposed to have a boyfriend and they're all supposed to have a child. They have profound mental retardation. They don't understand getting shot in the head and buried in the fucking ground. There'll be another one tomorrow knocking on your door with some investigation, which is made up. It's all made up. There isn't even supposed to be a DCF anymore. It's been 13 years now. But they'll still go, yeah, we're from DCF, just like they're a nurse. They're a peer counselor. I can't make this shit up. People been through this before. That they exactly would do that. And it's just they're just some retarded people that they're just going to take your kid and you never see them again. And then they think it's their kid. Well, I would expect lung cancer. Yeah, I would expect some heavy duty lung cancer. So that you don't have to have that type of a war, because you literally would be forced to kill these things. Yeah, just you have to have an understanding of profound mental retardation. Even they could go non-verbal and still do that stuff, because their bodies are still running around. That's why they're all getting cancer. Right. The brain plague and then the nuclear stuff is giving them lung cancer, because they'd be running around. They would just show up at a public park, and just take someone's kid and run off with it and not even speak. They'd have complete aphasia. They wouldn't be able to answer anybody about what they were doing. We're here, we have to do COVID testing. Did it seem like there was a reason to check a room? Did it seem like there was a reason to be people tased and stuff stick up their nose and a mask on? Did those people think you had any rights? You don't have any rights to that either, believe me. It's progressive and profound. Well, I'm going to be 53 and I clearly don't have any children. So, for the most part, most of that nonsense has calmed down with me, right? There isn't really anything that these beings want from me. That's why people were told to stop producing children. So, because of the animal nature of these things, other than attacking what they think are competitive females or competitive males, it becomes just about stealing food and stealing children as they lose more and more brain matter and they become more and more like a literal animal in a jungle, like we saw at the hotel. They were already displaying those behaviors in 2021. And it's now 2024 with that much. I think it's really the brain plague at that point, that much more time for the brain to shrink. It can happen pretty rapidly, like I mentioned about Lester. That was about a year. Well, yeah, I didn't know because I didn't do my weights. I didn't do the water bottles yesterday. For the most part, this business, when they start attacking me more after doing this business with the Snap card, I think it's just to try to cover up what they did, from what I recall about what she used to be like. Right. Um, it's just part of dementia. Like doing, like lashing out. They can't stop themselves from lashing out at me, even when I'm not even doing anything. Right. It's like envy and weird dementia, like animals, like, yeah. It's like when people in life get angry that someone's better than looking than them or something, but now they're like old and have dementia, so it gets worse. But yeah. And then they get like frenzied panic and try to like force me to do something without admitting that they did it. Like nonverbal stuff. It's like, yeah, that's why they start attacking me more. Like first, some of them, like the neutered males, they think that's a directive to start attacking me. Like it makes me more vulnerable as a female, and it's their job to like non-verbally force me in an area and to do stuff. Oh yeah. So you go. It's always like that. As soon it's all the same sequence of events because they're all like animal behaviors that are urges. They see things and they see other members doing stuff and it makes them do other stuff. You just go, no one's doing that stuff. Nope, no one's doing that stuff. Just, it is pretty windy. Hopefully, it's not going to interfere with my walk, but nah, nothing. Get up at friggin' 9 to take a walk. No. It, is it supposed to end at 1 p.m.? This wind thing? I know it was 8 a.m., but I don't even see the wind advisory on here anymore. It's probably going to feel colder maybe than 44. I was planning on being kind of okay. It's actually supposed to go until 1 a.m., not 1 p.m. Okay. Oh, now it's at 3:12 a.m. and not 8 a.m. Okay. It's only 37 right now, according to this. That says 36. 65 on Thursday. Let me do this. Start doing my stuff because it's. I suppose I could go up there, but it's kind of messing me up a little bit because everything is more expensive at that Stop and Shop. I was going to do my Dedham walk and stop over at the Dollar Tree. There's probably be less wind on the one if I did the walk to the up to 138 and back. I would think there'd be less wind than doing the Dedham walk. But let me do this. I gotta get this thing ready. Feels cold now. My coffee's completely worn off. Warm up a little bit. They are neutered meals. Like you would almost think they're females, right? Because you go, I don't understand what this is. They're neutered meals. I know, believe me. It's normal to ask those questions because you go, I don't understand what this is. You have like a dime piece that you won't stop attacking, and you're viewing her on these fake internets, but then you're attacking her in some sort of whacked out, envious cat like rage because they're neutered males. I told you it gets more and more like, yeah, they're not homosexuals, they're neutered males. Homosexuals don't fly into envious rages over females. I explained it like a year and a half ago when it started commenting on every video that's like a body shot. They're neutered males. I know. It's like I'm like people's mom. I'm Mary Poppins. I'm the Virgin Mother. I'm like the ideal mother. I'm a mom, right? But then also I'm a dime piece because they've been doing this since I was 39. They're neutered males. You would almost think they're females, but they're not. They're neutered males. That is what a neutered male is. I've met a lot of homosexual men. Okay, that's why they hang out with models. Not they hate models. They don't hate dime pieces and they don't hate people that are moms. They're basically just copying their mother. That's a miserable child. They turn into a miserable child. A miserable child with thermonuclear weapons. Are they back on Everything Must Be Science? She did that for a while too. Yeah. She was like angry at me. You said it was all genetics. What the fuck are you on? Oh yeah, these things are just completely psychopathically deranged. She did that for a while. That was an excuse for why she was acting so fucking insane. Yeah, that was an excuse for her psychopathy and why she wouldn't stop trying to fucking harm me. I know, you just go, like she was gonna be amoral on purpose. And then go, I thought you said that it was all genetics. I never told you that you could, it didn't matter what your fucking morality was. I never said that. You things are so fucking sick. You're murderously insane, and God's containing you. Not your teachers, not you doing science. Whoa, obviously the science, God fully proved his existence and proved he was talking to me. I'm his fucking prophet. Right. But that doesn't mean, oh yeah, and then everything that happens in every psychopathic action means it's got to be fucking science. Like I'm not real. It's like wicked severe disassociation. Nothing that's going on is real. It's okay for what they're doing to me because we're all going to get science information from this. Holy fuck. Can't break the God delusion. That's what I got when I was doing my ab work. Yep. We're back to everything is science. Like when they did the flagellation. Yeah. It's just one of those times. Maybe I'll wear my black sneakers today. All right, so I gotta do. I don't know if that's necessarily the worst part of it. I gotta do one set of water bottles first. These are pretty hard to do. That's why I break them up into. Water bottles are pretty hard to do. All right, so. I'm sure. Especially after all those years of smoking, you go, all those years of smoking, uh, I go right out in it. I've been like, I've had so much ionizing radiation, and I'm going to be 53. You just go, how the fuck is your skin like that? I don't know. I don't know if it's genetics or not, right? But it may have something to do with the diet. But I don't know. I've always done pretty much always. I don't know what I did when I was little, but I've always done intermediate fasting, and I always drank caffeine. Yeah, I think some of the thing that the criminals are doing by causing this, because I don't have glasses and like doing this constantly. Yeah, you go. You understand that that's like creases from this. That's not the same thing as your skin fucking falling apart. I mean, I don't know how old Scott is. He's like in his 30s. I'm going to be 53. I know it's like, so let's get this straight. You purposely forced her to squint. Okay. And then is that the same thing as your fucking face is falling apart and falling off? Like all that matters. Like everything's about aging and how they look. Right. You just go, I'm not sure that's the same thing. Remember when they went around trying to tell everybody that I had eye bags or something? I don't have eye bags at all. I have none of that. I don't know what. Yeah, just you have a photograph when I was like smiling or something, and then it's part of being psychopathically insane, where you try to make everybody think they have arms. Say if you just keep telling them that something is going on with them. Yeah, it's part of being psychopathically insane. Anyways, it's just something I noticed about the dark circles because there was a picture of used to be Annalise Frank, and then you wanted to fuck with her and tell her that she had dark circles because you're psychopathically insane. You want to fuck with a minor and make her think she has fucking body dysmorphia problems because you're psychopathically deranged. That's not going to stop your fucking extinction. I don't have to do anything. God's killing you. I don't really kill people anyway, but in terms of that madness, obviously some of y'all need to be killed after that fucking business. I didn't see that shit all over the fucking internet. I just view it as God explaining to me why I don't have to care about you people all fucking dying. Yeah. That was fucking surreal. Like why you were attacking fucking children. It's like obviously some way that you think you're attacking me. You just go, you people are so fucking insane. Your thoughts are so involved. That's a lot of thought about how to attack a person because she's too fucking pretty. Especially when the children are dead. Who are you attacking? Are you attacking a fucking grave? No, you think you're attacking me by doing it. You give the impression that you're tormenting my fucking children when they're not even alive anymore. Fucking sickapoos. That's why God tricks people into killing people's fucking children. Because you would do that shit. You absolutely would. You're not going to have that ability for the rest of the Passover. I'm sure it'll come to that with everybody that they've been hiding. Yeah, the people that they killed their fucking family off and didn't inform them of it. They'll try to stop making you think that they're mentally fucking with them somewhere in an internet prison and they're not even alive anymore. They're just sick. Just the brain dying and they're in a cage that God has them in, so they can't do anything else. Oh, God, it's going to be a long month. I personally find the water bottles to be probably the worst things. I don't like upper body stuff at all because I'm a female. I'm sure doctors have probably discussed it, but it's like one of my things that's interesting to me about males that do all this upper body stuff and they have a difficulty building up their lower body. If females naturally have like a tolerance to lower body pain because of giving birth, that would put females probably at a greater advantage for a track and field and marathon running than over males. I also sort of noticed within myself that when you do stuff where it's your left and your right arm separately, that I think that my right arm has like some sort of, it either has more nerve endings or it's more registered to my brain because that's the hand that I write with. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, I know. I'm a boring person. I'm a creep. Who gives a fuck? I need some crack cocaine. Who gives? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Left hand, right hand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you have $10? Fucking creep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything you talk about is interesting, creep. You got $5? Not you're the creep, asshole. You're an asshole, not a creep. more things. There's water in here. Four days in a row we're walking. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna look at. What next Friday says. Tomorrow's jog, walks, and walk. Then it's this again, and then jog, walks, and walk, and then I just have to do weights. That's it, right? So we'll see. Last week I took a walk. I did jog, walks, and a walk last Friday. We'll see how I feel this Friday. And then Saturday is only the food pantry. And then the next 2 Saturdays I have to do weights. How was that working out? Did I screw up something? No. Yeah, I did. No, that's probably supposed to be the 31st. Yeah, I messed it up. I messed up. This is wrong. I'll have to fix it. On the 23rd, right, because it should be every other Saturday. That's how I just realized. On the 23rd, I have weeks, and then I messed it up. Let me fix it. I'm taking a break before I do my last 2 things. All right, let's see. This is going to go. All right. Next Monday, a week from today, it will become regular walk with no jog walks. Becomes regular walk. So, well, it'll be 2 weeks of that, and then I haven't done April's schedule yet. I would assume by then I'll be able to do like twice a week my arm stuff. And then I might be able to put in jog walks and wall lean. Probably on my days that I'm not doing my regular walk. Like if I do, so many days of my longer walks, then maybe on the days I'm not doing that. Or just do it on the days. The twice a week would be days I'm not taking a walk, maybe, and I do jog walks and stuff. I'll figure it out when I make April's schedule. It's a little bit early for April's schedule, but something like that. I did that once, but I don't think I'm going to do that for April. Maybe May, because May will basically be the last month before the summer. Like once I did a thing where didn't I do push-ups every single day for 30 days or something like that? Yeah. Not April, because I think April I want to try to incorporate. Well, unless I'm not going to do jog walks. I guess maybe I could do something like that. We'll see. Yeah, like if you did abs every single day. I don't know about abs every single day. Yeah, I think really every other day, but we'll see. We'll see what comes to my mind when I make April's schedule. Right now I'm on March. It's 11 weeks. Yeah. But that's only the end of May, right? So it's Massachusetts. You could even goal yourself towards like mid June. That's a long time. That's 3 months. You can make some major changes in your physique in 3 months, believe me. I think that the people that have never done this before, uh, moderation to your fitness level is really sort of vital. Don't go, I've got 3 months, and then you think you're going to do like high impact aerobics like every other day or something. It's just, that's not feasible for you to keep up with. And you don't know that if you've never stuck to a fitness program before. It gets harder every time you do it. It's about consistency. You don't want to do anything where you're so sore you have to go now 3 days without doing something. You never want that to happen. Yeah, you never. Some of that, the other thing too about doing things, anybody that uses weights for anything, doing something without weights. And this is the other thing too. If you try to do something every day or every other day when you're not used to a fitness program and a fitness schedule, it takes a couple of days to be sore. You're not going to be sore the next day. You might be, but it's, yeah. So if you all of a sudden you're like so sore you can't complete an exercise, your muscles aren't having time to heal. I've stated it before that I generally do not get sore. Yeah, like because of the level of fitness I'm at, and I don't make these ridiculous demands in terms of muscle growth and bodybuilding. I'm not trying to make those big round muscles. Okay, I'm a female, and then I joke about being Asian. I don't know if you know a lot of Asian people, but they're really not. They don't have those big, huge muscles. I don't know if you've seen dudes that like some women, females think are hot. They don't have all those big, huge muscles, right? I know that some of you notice because some of you get angry, and it's kind of like this. It's like I really think it's a carryover. Like your mind's getting mixed up. Like you're acting like a female. Like why on earth you would be angry about like tall, skinny dudes? I'm not. Some women like those big lumberjack bodybuilder people. Stop getting angry at other people's men. You have one girlfriend in your life or wife. Like enough of it. It's like really just that is not the reason you're not getting girlfriends. You're not getting it. It like people don't just switch off to another person. That's a different species does that. Like if there's no available men, right? You just go. Other people just go. There's no available men, and that's why they're single, right? You just like a dude. First of all, a dude that's 25 and skinny like that. That women that would go out with him or he would go out with are not available to you. They're really not. Right, even females too. I mean, the females that person would go out. I doubt he's even interested in going out with anyone. That's another thing people don't understand about your males that are in their 20s. This has been going on for 15 years. That dude was 10 years old. They're really not interested in relationships because they've been abused. They haven't had a chance to grow up. Right. But in a normal thing, a 25-year-old that was in a regular society, as you call it, and went to college and or has a tradesmanship or something, he's some of these females he would never go out with. So you need to calm down. Right. You go like he is not taking females from you. Those females would never go out with you. So, anyways, Well, I that's one of the really good things about that Brian Buchanan business because I want to reiterate to people that he's a drug addict. Okay, so you clearly don't look like that dude, correct? Okay, thank you. I guess I'll do this one for my. I'm gonna do triceps next. Yeah, that means I think I could probably go out with a different 36-year-old. Yeah. That's how life works. I understand it myself. It's not really about youth, it's just, it has to do with attractiveness. It's not really about youth. Like I said, that Jeremy guy's not bad looking either. He's just not my type. And he said he was 41. That Shannon guy's not bad looking. Again, not my type. He said he was 41. Neither one of them are brunettes. Anyone would. If you knew you were in an unhappy marriage and you went on a cruise and you were like 34 years old and you saw the dudes that were trying to get with you, you would say, go home and go, I gotta get a divorce, dude. This is fucking crazy. That's what, the other thing too about these dudes, they abuse the women they're with. Right. You would think they'd be acting a different way when you're married to a dime piece, but they're not. They're abusive. Well, that's why if you know you're a type of person where you don't care what people look like and you think people are shallow and stuff, then you just stick with your own. I'm sure it's probably funny, just like Charles Manson with the models. You figure dudes that are dressing and growing their hair out like that don't care what people look like? Like they're slick cats, as you call it. That's what they used to call dudes. Not they don't care what people look like. God, that hurts.
If it's $10,000 or more, here are the easy solutions you can start implementing today. And number three is an absolute game changer. Number one, the first step to tackling your credit card debt is understanding how much debt you actually have and how long it can follow you around for. If you're only making minimum payments or the following kind, minimum payments could literally keep you in debt for decades.
Yeah, that's probably a point too. Don't try to make artists bodybuild. Don't try to make people that draw and paint bodybuild because, oh, message from Nate. If you could, and probably Brian Laundry, if you could not tell us to bodybuild because you're not understanding the level of pain in people that have like dexterity in their arms, like pianists, people that play musical instruments. They'll jog and they'll have arms like me from being lean, but don't expect them to be bodybuilders. You need to move on to people that don't do that type of artistry, that don't do that for a job. That is. Yeah, the moms are expected to have a good lower body for sure. And good abs, and a good lower body. If you were created to be a mom, then your muscles clearly can function to do stuff. You should be able to do squats. Yeah. All right. I got to do. No, why did I put them in there? That was no. I got to do one more thing of water bottles. I'm giving my arms a rest first. I know. All of a sudden, I was like, "Wait a minute. Why did I put them in there?" Oh God, I'm getting my nausea now because I started drinking water. I mixed it in with the rest of my soda. Ugh. I probably in the wintertime, definitely. In the summertime, no. In the wintertime, I probably drink the majority of my fluids in the morning. Yeah, in the summertime, no, because I come back from a walk and I usually will drink. If I sit down and pour it into a glass, I will drink an entire 2 liter of seltzer water after one of my walks in the summertime. But in the wintertime, I don't drink as much, and it's like most of it's before the walk. Most of the urination is in the morning too, when I have my coffee. It's a whole thing. Do, 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 do. I got nothing. Yeah. Just waiting for my arms to rest, and then I got to do this that I know is going to hurt, but it'll be over in, what's it going to be? Let me set up this on. There's one that's 5 something, 3 something, and 4 something. I guess I'll go to the 4 something. I'll do the middle one.
Every year.
But just again, reasons why you're doing this is actually keeping me hostage, because clearly it could be explained to the public again about why they were taking their temperature twice a day. If you're taking your temperature twice a day because of my workout regime, how are you shutting off my SNAP food card, denying me a basic income and housing just to get some sort of an idea of your level of dementia? It's called criminal insanity. Like still pretending when I go anywhere that you don't know who the fuck I am. And you go, oh, can I help you with something? Can you help me with something? Why are you taking your temperature twice a day? That's why I thought you people couldn't see me. Can you see me on a live stream on YouTube? Have you ever seen me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok? The Virgin Mary, Mary Gladys Martin Lagore. You ever seen me online? Read anything I wrote? Why are you taking your temperature twice a day? Who told you to do that? Do you have any idea how profusely insane just even that one thing is? Out of now we're in the 14th year of it. How, what profuse mental illness is? It's a workout routine where you lift water bottles repeatedly through an entire song called Temperature by Sean Paul. Not you take your temperature twice a day. And then that's a real thing. And then you deny me food and water because that's a real thing. And you stick a Q-tip up my nose because that's a real thing. Right, like Brian Buchanan. Why would it matter if I quote unquote went up to you or you went up to your ex? Why would that matter? What does that mean? Oh yeah. Community standards. It's called profuse mental insanity. When people are psychopathically insane. All right, let me do this, get this over with.
We give our fine little chocolate a very special shape. If you're finally ready to take a trip without the kids, why stay at a hotel with more kids?
Yay. Put my sneakers on. Get ready to take my walk. What am I gonna? Too for a bag. I think I'm gonna have to bring this, so I probably didn't even have to do what I just did, but alright. Yeah, I think yeah, maybe they're gonna have to do this or two of those other types of bags. Might as well just bring this. Tissues. Definitely the time of the year for tissues. Keep forgetting to bring them with me. I usually have them in this bag, but I haven't been bringing this bag until today because I'm going to be carrying a couple of things. Sneakers. One of the things about recovery is having a sort of like self-defeatist attitude. So it's good to have set goals that are reasonable and attainable and then keep obtaining them. Well, you're not really supposed to have people with an ability to attack you and belittle everything that you're doing and act like you're retarded and dumb. And then probably tell themselves that they're encouraging you, they're giving you energy through torture because they're psychopathically deranged. Not that's part of a recovery program. Why were you people taking your temperature twice a day? I don't know if it's because people told you an incorrect thing or you're aware of the water bottles and you either can't lift them or you don't want to accept that's what it is. You would rather believe there's a virus and you take a temperature twice a day and not you lift water bottles for 2 songs. And one of them's called temperature. You probably don't even have to lift water bottles. You ever see older people doing this? It's 2 songs. You probably have an 80-year-old going, you're taking your temperature twice a day? It's not do this for a song? Yeah, like I'm sure probably older people that are fit, okay, just go. It doesn't mean they had to be Susan Austin. I'm talking about just regular older people that have been active their whole lives going, you people are 25 and you're that unhealthy? I'm scared. They have a reduced brain. Okay. I was born in 1971, so you need to review when people stopped breastfeeding their children. Okay. And then understand if you're in a certain uh, area or something, these people have completely been, they do it to themselves. It's not a conspiracy that other people did it, folks. Okay. They do not breastfeed. They don't work. They don't breastfeed. They don't teach. They don't potty train their children. Okay. So their children's brains are reduced from anything that you're used to having on planet Earth, and it's been going on for at least 53 years. Okay. So that's a long time. If you're 70, you're probably just in a wonderment of your entire population, which is understood because I'm in a wonderment of it and I'm 52. That's how some of them talk. I can't tell if someone's high. It's just a thing I've noticed. They do that to me out in Quincy. They did it to me with Brian. Oh, you can't tell? Like you're fucking retarded. No, I can't tell if someone's high or not. Usually they tell me. You just, I don't know how an 89-year-old would know if someone was high or not. He didn't seem high to me, but I didn't talk to him that long. But again, I'm a dummy. I'm not cool like that. I don't know all those things. Like just I don't know about that case, but it explains a lot of this business where I do think that people go around saying everyone is high. You go, I don't use drugs. Some people would say that about me, so I'm not going to say anything. They'd say something negative to say about everyone. I don't have something negative to say about everyone. I have nothing negative to say about Michael Florian. That's just one example. Usually, I don't really have anything negative to say about Patrick. When you're friends with someone, you feel the personal hurt when they just bail on you. But that's why I said, for all I know, something happened to him. Right? I wouldn't have per se had anything that negative really to say about Brian, but I mean, he didn't handle a breakup very well. We probably would have remained friends had he not put my hand on his dick and then took off. Yeah, that's pretty uncaring. Like, it's like this. Patrick bailed too, but he didn't put my hand on his dick first and say that he loved me and was going to marry me. So it's a little bit different. Even after what happened on Mound Beach, because we weren't a couple. That's why you go, just go over there before you say too much. Obviously, she's got to get up. She was in bed all day yesterday. So, that part is true. Got to get up. You got to change your stuff. I'll be due tomorrow to go down there and wash all your stuff because it's jog walk day tomorrow. I guess I'll brush my teeth. this. Well, I can't really tell if that thing in my eye looks any different. I don't think it does, but like bigger. But at one point in time, it seemed like my lid, after I got it, it seemed like my eye, I'd wake up in the morning and my lid would be a little bit swollen. So maybe that's an improvement because it's not doing that now. And it almost, to me, seems like it almost looks like it's like getting a head on it, like a friggin' pimple. But you're not supposed to do anything with it. It just goes away on its own. Because the pore to it is probably inside your, it's probably inside your lid. You can't pop it like a pimple. Yeah, like even a pimple, if you leave it, a pimple is not a zit. I was a teenager once. A pimple is not a zit. You can't pop a pimple. You can't. Like you have to wait till it has that white head on it to pop it. You can't pop a pimple. You will just destroy your face trying to pop a pimple. It has to just, your body has to just absorb it. Most pimples, I don't even think you can ever pop. And then they have those blackhead things that some people like have a serious problem with those things. Yeah, some people have, you need to use Noxema. If you're having an issue with like those blackhead things, you need to use Noxema because it opens up everything. That's why it has the menthol in it. But it is very drying to your skin. But when you're a teenager and you have oily skin, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know if it's really something to use when you get older. I used it when I was like in high school. I might have used it like at the beginning of college, and then it sort of forces you to use a washcloth. Yeah. To like, I used to put it on. I didn't like let it sit there. Just put it on and take a warm washcloth and then rinse it. I didn't really have a lot of problems with my skin. No. I never had body acne either. Yeah, I don't know if that's genetics. It's probably like genetics and like hormones and stuff. But I used to use like we didn't have a Walmart. It was probably like Stop and Shop or like the pharmacy, like CVS probably had their own brand because it was cheaper than Noxema, but it's the same exact thing as Noxema. It's, some of those are probably true. Like if models were like doing commercials for Noxema, they probably were using it. So because young people are not adults. You know how in adults they do all this skin line and stuff, which is much crap, anyways. I just use bars of soap and I use hand lotion. So anyway, they have like all that stuff, and you're supposed to do. You wash with this, and then you have that thing. It's like a toner and all this crap. When you're like in junior high school and high school, and you have all that oil on your face, yeah. Especially if you're eating a lot of pizza and French fries. So I think probably the menthol helps like make the pores like smaller too. Yeah, it opens them up first, and then oh yeah, some people make up all kinds of stuff to be concerned about, and they make you concerned about it. You don't even know what they're talking about. Big pores, all of that stuff. You go, I don't. This is a lot of staring in the mirror business going on. So I'm getting ready for my walk because it's 12 o'clock. I know. Should I put a hat on because it's only supposed to be 45? It can look like bright sunny sun. We'll find out if I'm. I got a hood, so if I get cold, I'll put the hood on. This. Clearly, these internet jailers show they don't like anything that seems even remotely sort of like anything that seems it's like Aaron Carter. Anything that seems remotely like regular mom and like adult and stuff, or like cute person that might get a boyfriend. If they would do an ending like that, nobody would ever see that. All you'd ever see is when they do this weird stuff to me, and then I seem angry and something, and just go angry. I think we're all fucking angry. That's why nobody thought that Aaron Carter person was weird either. Although, if he was a character, if he was in the military like that couple, then yeah, that those are insane people because those are jailers. Remember that? Oh yeah, that's why it was so creepy and weird. You could tell it was them doing it. They were always as a couple, and it always went into perversion. The same people. Just what am I looking at here? You're actually Aaron Carter. Okay. You're the dude who put himself in a room for my recovery program. Like you're supposed to be making fun of Alex and Casey, or you don't even know what that is. This feels a little bit tight, but